Good afternoon. My name is Narelle Walk-On, and I'm coming to you today, this Thursday afternoon for me here in Queensland, Australia. I want to welcome you all, and I have one question, I suppose, that I want to start with today, and that is, why are so many people feeling sick? And is carnivore lifestyle change going to be the answer to a healthier you? Again, welcome everybody. My name's Narelle Walk-On. I'm coming in from Queensland, Australia, and I want to thank you for being here, for your support. I want to thank you for, maybe taking a little bit of a different look at what you can do to be a better you. So there are a few things that I've written down, and I want to share them with you. Today, I want to tackle that question that's on a lot of our minds. So why are so many people feeling sick these days? You hear it around, your neighbors, the family, people that you know maybe on your social medias and things like that. There's a lot of sickness going around. Could it be in what they're eating? That's my question to you. Have you researched what we're eating? So firstly, I think it's in the modern diet today. Many of us are consuming high processed foods that are loaded with sugars, unhealthy fats, preservatives, and artificial ingredients. Now, I know a lot of you out there who are sort of, maybe starting on your journey to researching what's in your food, where it's coming from, what's better for you to eat and things like that. What makes these processed foods easy is because they're convenient. And a lot of the time you're not thinking about what is it I'm putting into my mouth. You're more thinking of cost effective, or it's quick and easy. You're on your way home from work. You just want to grab something simple. So you grab those things. But the thing is, as we've been told, and the more you do your research, you're going to find out that they are laden with sugar. They are laden with chemicals. They are laden with toxins. Excuse me. And I think that that's something where you should start, because these foods are convenient but don't provide the nutrients our bodies truly need. Instead, they can contribute to inflammation, blood sugar imbalance. As you know, I am a type 2 diabetic, and since changing the way that I eat, I am almost down to no medications needed at all. That's huge. It also contributes to a weakened immune system. Over time, this can make us more vulnerable to sickness and disease. Years ago, you didn't hear so much about anybody really getting sick. You didn't hear about the different diseases, the different types of cancers. The inflammation, we never really looked into what was inflammation and how does it affect our body or our sickness, our wellness, illness, that sort of thing. So one of the things also that I have written down here is that stress. Stress is what they call the silent killer. Something so many of us deal with on a daily basis, whether it's from work, financial pressures, family, consistent bombardment, of information from social medias. That's a big one, I think, in today's society. Our bodies are constantly under stress. I know stress very well, having, lived my life coming through. I'm a published author, Narelle Walk-On. My book is Blonde Roots. I have survived sexual, physical, and mental abuse, and the stress of my life growing up, the stress of my life going through those things and wondering why I kept making certain decisions. Sorry. Anyway, chronic stress can weaken our immune system and leave us feeling drained and more prone to getting sick. So we really need to start looking at our lives. As you get older, and I am over 60, I realized, a while ago, particularly back 9 years ago now, where I had open heart surgery, I believe a lot of that came from stress-related incidences in my life. And it really is something that you need to look at how can you reduce those stress? There's many things out there that you can read, and I always say that this has to be something that suits you, something that brings you joy, something that you can do other than the norm of work, family, things like that. It's time to take back some of your life and be able to do those things for yourself, because you only get one life and it does matter. So, oh, excuse me. So the supporters of carnivore diet argue that it can reduce inflammation, it can improve digestion, and even help with autoimmune conditions. I will go into my story fractionally there, just to let you know what it has done for me. Since this way of eating eliminates processed foods and focuses on nutrient-dense, bioavailable animal products, many find that they feel more energetic and less prone to illness, which I am definitely finding. Plus, by cutting out common allergens like gluten and plant-based anti-nutrients, some people find relief from chronic digestive problems. Now, just going on to my story a little bit there, changing over, yes, I did a lot of research. I heard from people who had gone over to the carnivore lifestyle or the way of eating, thought that I needed to do a little bit more research because my body has had different things, different stresses, going through open heart surgery, having a heart attack, different stresses, I suppose, in, like I said, with my book, sexual, physical, mental abuse, living with that, surviving that, and healing from that. So there's been many, say, very traumatic or very dramatic things happen in my life, as is probably for you as well. And that's where we come to, what do we need to do to stay healthy as we get older? So it's important to recognize that the carnivore diet isn't for everyone. Now, I don't believe that so much. I think it can be for everyone. But I'm not a doctor, nor a health practitioner, nor an advisor about what is good for you and what isn't. One of these things about carnivore lifestyle or changing over is do your research. You know your body better than anyone. Um, so yeah, but for those who have tried everything else and are still feeling unwell, the carnivore way could be worth exploring. And absolutely, like I said, if you've tried certain things, if you're overweight, I didn't have to lose a lot of weight. I've lost now over 16.5 pounds, which equates to about 7.5 kilos. That is really good for me, and I wouldn't want to lose too much more for my age. And I have to tell you this, I'm so excited because, I haven't been this weight for over 30 years. 30 years. I've always been, once I sort of healed and did some work on myself, I always felt good in the body that I'm in. But my body obviously needed to lose some of the fat. And I think as women, we tend to carry that around our tummies, whether it's because we've had children and we haven't gone back to the size we were before. We're too busy. There's so many different things and reasons why we carry the weight that we do. I think a lot of it is emotional, and I think that we can change a lot of that by dealing with some of the things that may come up emotionally as we start to let go or release the toxins in our body. So it's very simple, and the simplicity of the diet means you're eliminating potential triggers and focusing on real whole foods. Whether it's the ultimate solution or just a step in the right direction. And again, I bring it back to, if you want to do this, do your research. Now, I went whole hog, cold turkey. That's it for me. I've made up my mind, 100% in. But I also share with others that it's a good idea to perhaps look at ketovore. If it's too drastic for you to do that, then look at ketovore. So ketovore is basically taking sugars out. There are some low carbs within the diet, but it's also going to the animal product and fat. Fat is the best thing ever. It's needed in our bodies, and for years, many of the doctors or many of the those who call themselves health gurus, let's say that, have lived by the fact that no fat, cut out this, cut out sugar, don't do this, don't do that, red meat's no good, rah, 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 rah. Again, I bring it back to do your research, because you will find that many of these foods are actually very, very needed by our bodies to survive. And also the whole thingy around cholesterol. Do your research on that. If you're on a statin, I can only advise you, as I did, to get off it as soon as possible. They cause far more harm than what they're worth, and we actually need cholesterol for our brains and our bodies. So just let me have a look here. So why are people feeling sick these days? And that was my question in the beginning. So many more we're hearing about different diseases. Have you related it yet to the food that we're putting in our bodies? Have you related it to that nearly everything, fruit and vegetable, is sprayed so heavily, and then it's injected to make it last longer so that it looks good for you, the consumer, when you go to buy that juicy red apple? But sometimes when you cut into these fruits, and it's happened to me before, I think with pears, way back, that they were hard as a rock. They're not ripening on the tree. If you grow your own stuff, you know what is going on it and what it is. However, when you buy from the supermarkets, and sometimes like roadside sellers sell, from stuff that they've got in from other big markets, just be aware that usually they are covered in toxins, pollutants, and if you look up oxalates, please have a look at that as far as your vegetables go, in what that does to your body. Again, a lot of research is needed. However, it's very readily available. I share with you the little bits that I research, the little bits about my life and my carnivore journey, because I think it is really important to get it out there. Now, I'm just going to duck over. I do have a Facebook page, and I'd love to duck over there and just show you. If you'd like to join me over there, I really would love to hear from other people. I interview and also allow you to share your journey on carnivore, which I think is hugely important. It's one of those things that if you hear more about it, if you, understand other people's journeys, you can make up your own mind. So I'll just scroll over here. So it's called Carnivore Aussie Style. Thank you so much for joining. I'm only fairly new to this, but like I said, I have a voice, and I want to use that voice for good, because if this helps one other person, oh my gosh, it's just amazing. Just like writing my book, I wrote it not to be a bestseller, but to bring hope for other people who may have or still living in domestic violence. So these are muffins I made yesterday, and yes, I did put up the recipe for them, and have a look at those. Very yummy, and I tell you, the smell is amazing. Now, what that consists of is basically eggs. I had some leftover meat from previous nights of Silverside and some pork, roast pork. So I cut them up small. I don't put anything else in but a little bit of cheese and cream to bind them together. But honestly, they turn out amazing. It made 16 of them. So we'll have them for a few days if I don't get to freeze some of them. So this is my, excuse me, my previous lives here on YouTube. And one week I interviewed a gentleman here in Australia called Ian Gundrill. Ian has an amazing story about his carnivore journey. He's been doing it now for over 18 months. I think he's lost about 43 kilograms, and I'm not quite sure what that is in pounds, but a lot. It has changed his life. Aches and pains gone away, inflammation is down, and honestly, it truly is incredible. So have a listen to that when you get some time. They are all found on my YouTube channel. So if you're visiting here, please subscribe, like, and share. And ring the bell for notifications for when I go live, which is every week, usually Thursday afternoon. So I do some little videos. There's another one of my story when I first started. Excuse me. And who says this way of eating is boring? Steak, bacon, that's butter, not cheese. I don't have cheese a lot. And I used to eat cheese quite a bit, and some eggs. Yes, one of them broke. But it really is Dr. Chaffee, Dr. Berry. There's some wonderful things on YouTube. If you just search carnivore, they say, that I am a fake. He is not a fake. He is a proper medical doctor with all his credentials. The other, just a few down there. So take a look. This one here is fantastic. I've spoken about it before. It is a long watch. However, you can watch it over a few days. Have a look at the information coming out, particularly in America. I'll just come back up here to me. Excuse me. Have a look at the information coming out from America. Now, I watched a video last night about the foods, and you know that most of the substances they use to help prolong food to last longer is banned in many countries all over the world. And Australia has one of the most stringent, I think, for, chemicals, injections, that sort of thing that goes into our food. So, however, in saying that, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen here. But Americans, I feel sorry for them. I really feel sorry for the food that they have to eat that is injected with so much stuff. It was really quite an incredible video. And if I can find it again, I'll pop it onto my Facebook channel because I think it's really important, even though we're here in Australia or surrounding islands, my videos will go out all over the world. And somebody might be watching it that's actually in America, and maybe they might make a different choice as to what they do buy, or maybe it will inform them of what is happening with their food so they can make a better choice. I think that is hugely important for all of us to start looking into those things. So even though the carnivore diet may not be a one-size-fits-all solution, it's a reminder that sometimes returning to a simpler, more natural way of eating might just be what our bodies are craving for better health. Have a think about that. Simple. How did our parents grow up? What did they eat? What did their grandparents eat? There was hardly any sickness back then. It's really important that we start to look at what is better for our bodies. Now, I've been carnivore for 6 months. Excuse me, I think I'm a couple of days off. But I'm so excited because the time would have passed anyway. So me making my choice, yes, there was a couple of, probably 2 weeks where I felt a little bit, what am I doing? What am I supposed to cook? I need recipes. But in actual fact, I made it harder for myself in thinking that way. It's very simple. Steak, red meat, butter, bacon, eggs. You can have a little bit of cheese. You can have some chicken if you like. And occasionally I have some fish as well. Just be careful of where you're sourcing it from. And they do say a lot of chicken is injected with hormones and things like that. So other people say it can be expensive, and I say no, it's not. Because, we buy from a good butcher, and yes, their prices are more expensive. However, what you're buying in rubbish, chips, lollies, your fruit and veggie, they're not cheap anymore. All of your tin foods, your rice, your pasta, you're filling your pantry up with foods that are not good for your body. Now, remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health professional of any means, but I know what my body says and has said and has done since I started this way of eating. Now, I had a sister ask me recently, well, how long do you plan on staying on this diet, this thing? And I said, for the rest of my life, because I do want to live in good health. And yes, I had some struggles with my health over the years. I was born a little bit differently to other people. And I think there's a lot of people that I can relate to, and you can relate to my story. But like I said, there are days that I want to be able to interview you. I want your story heard, because carnivore, even though it's been around for a few years, it's only just coming to light now. So there's no pills, there's no drinks, there's no shakes, whatever. It's just a way of changing what you eat. Okay, so that expense, like, it really just, it isn't anymore. In actual fact, I think we're saving money, because when you fill up on protein, when you fill up on good fats, okay, good fats, It makes a difference because I'm only eating once a day. I fast for the rest of time. Yes, I have a couple of coffees a day, not with milk. I've taken sugar right out. I have it with cream, and I enjoy those. And it's okay to have coffee, and it's okay to have some cream. Some of the cheeses, there's little different varieties, but when you first start, just be easy on yourself. Okay, I didn't get to 60 odd overnight, and it was a process of elimination or doing things different or how to change, just to do things in your life just to make yourself feel better. So take it easy on yourself, relax into it, look at ketovore first, and do that for a couple of weeks until you find that, hey, I really want to go into carnivore, and see how it helps you. Now, what they suggest is 90 days, okay? It really is up to you, but don't expect miracles overnight. You didn't get there overnight. I didn't have my diabetes, and I didn't get there overnight, right? So I don't expect, I think if you expect the unexpected, so to speak, in the sense that um, it's going to take a little bit of time for your body to adjust. And each of our bodies are so different. You are amazing. You are enough. And you are worthy to try this. So 90 days, we're not selling pills. We're not selling you anything, you know. Now, I've heard of a few different things coming out over the years. I think you would have known them. There's a new one out at the moment saying that it removes vascular viscular fat from around your organs. Um, I want to ask the question, and this isn't going against anybody that I know who is doing this. You're having fantastic results from what I've seen, but no pill or shake is going to make you healthy. And what happens when you come off of that? It's a way of lifestyle change. It's a way of different way of eating, going back to what our ancestors ate, and not worrying about all of this processed food. Most of the processed food you eat today is addictive because they put substances into it to make it addictive. Where do you see McDonald's? Where do you see all these fast takeaway foods? Near schools, near shopping centres, so that if you're on your way home, you think, I'll just duck in and get something quick, or the school kids, when they leave school in the afternoon, can just duck in to get that Happy Meal. Not so happy when you have problems down the track. And, sometimes it takes many years to actually get where you are because of that lifestyle, because of the way that you ate when you were younger. So just take all that on board. Remember to do your own research. You know your body. I would suggest some bloods at the beginning of this. There are a few doctors around, and many, like I said, on YouTube, who will help you with what you can and can't do. I suggest that you start there and listen to a few of those. Also, remember that to come into this steadily. It's not something that, like me, I just went bang and I was in, and I'm loving it. And like I said, just stick with it, because 6 months will pass anyway, as it has for me. And look, I'm, almost off all diabetic medication. It makes me so happy. I'm at the weight now that I haven't been for over 30 years. 30 years. Oh my gosh, I've got 3 children and 1 granddaughter. Like I said, I felt happy in my body, but my body needed to lose that weight. Otherwise, it wouldn't have come off. So there are people also who start with carnivore who want to put on weight. Those red meats, and you can do them different ways. You can stew them. Beef broth is great. There's so many different things out there. Join me here as I share my story and my journey on carnivore. I really appreciate you being with me today, and I'd love to see you next week on Thursday here in Australia. And I'm looking forward to helping you share your story, and let's, share this together to get as many people back to being healthy. Thank you once more for joining me today. Much love to you all. Take care.